Our ability to help people is not just determined by our willingness. It is equally affected by people's openness. That in order for people to be helped, we must be more than able. They must also be open. Jesus puts it this way when he's writing through John in the book of Revelation. He says in Revelation 3:20, "Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person and they with me." Watch what Jesus says. He says, I'm knocking on the door of a person's heart, but their openness is what determines whether or not we have intimacy. Their openness determines my effectiveness, because it is not the anointing that determines whether or not someone is helped. It's their openness. He tells the disciples, when you are not listened to, this is what you do. He says, I want you to go out into the middle of the street and I want you to shake the dust off your feet. Well, first of all, he says, if it's not a peaceable situation, when you're trying to help people and it turns hostile, he says, get your peace back. Can I go here? Because sometimes we left our peace somewhere and we need to go back to 2016 and get it back. Some people's peace is in their last relationship. Some people's peace is at your last job. Oh my goodness, some people's peace is in 2018. Jesus said, we must take responsibility to get your peace back. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I want to encourage somebody to go back to wherever you left your peace and say, I left something, this belongs to me. You can keep the clothes, but I need my peace. Because if I got my peace, I can get more clothes. If I got my peace, I can find another place. If I got my peace, I can get another job. If I got my peace, I can walk through another door. The same God that gave it to me the first time is the God of restoration. It's the God of redemption. I can get that back, but I need my peace. And then Jesus says, go out in the street, and he says, shake the dust off your feet. It's a metaphor. It's a symbol. He's saying, don't track the dirt of rejection from one village into the next one. He said, it's no way you can be rejected and the dirt not get on you. He says, just make sure it don't stay on you. Bitterness may get on you, but make sure it doesn't stay. Anger may get on us, but make sure it doesn't stay. The spirit of retaliation may rise up in us, but make sure it doesn't stay. Just look at him and say to yourself, if I was like you, you'd be in trouble. But since I'm not like you, I'm gonna let you live, even though I could kill you right now. Let me go over here. Yeah, because what I do to you says more about me than it does about you. I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna put this tea right back in the refrigerator, because if I would spill this tea, it would really be a mess. But because greater is he that is in me than he that's in the world, I'm gonna let you live. Yeah, it'll get on you, but Jesus says, you got to shake it off. Because if not, you would carry the residue of rejection from one village into the next. And even though some people don't know how to appreciate it, there's some other people that are waiting on it. Jesus is saying, I need you to go to the next village, because there's some people that's been praying for what other people been taking for granted. Some people waiting on somebody like you to come into their life because they've been through enough to appreciate you when you get there. And Jesus is saying, you go to the next village, not because you can't help those people. He's saying you go to the next village because maybe those people aren't supposed to be helped by you. You see, Jesus is not encouraging us to give up on people or to stop helping people. What he's doing is he's trying to rescue us from allowing the rejection, from trying to help some people, to infect us to the degree that we become so bitter that we don't help others. It's interesting, because what Jesus does is is it gives them perspective so that they are not surprised by the inevitable. He says, I want you to have a realistic perspective about what's about to happen. He teaches them how to respond to people that won't listen. He says, before you leave, I want to tell you what to do when people don't listen. He says, I know you got power, but they're still not going to listen. I know you got a great plan, but some people still are not going to listen. And I know I'm going to tell you what to preach, and you're going to say what I told you to say, and some people still aren't going to listen. And Jesus can say this to the disciples because he's got experience with it, because he said, they ain't listen to me. Some people you love will not listen. Some teenagers won't listen. Some spouses won't listen. Some parents won't listen. Some siblings won't listen. Some friends won't listen. Some co-workers won't listen. Jesus tells his disciples this so they aren't surprised when people don't listen, so that they don't take the rejection personally. He's trying to get them to embrace the reality of limitations, that there are some people that are not open. And when you try to force openness, you move out of ministry into manipulation. You move out of calling into control. And there's a word that the Old Testament uses to describe people who are obsessively controlling, forceful, and manipulative, even with good intentions. The Old Testament uses a word called witchcraft.